Welcome everybody to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Miss?
Yeah.
That work? Okay. I think I used the pronoun of they in the original tweet.
Okay.
Which was it's like my safeguard if I don't know exactly what you're going by.
Yeah, yeah. I use she, her pronouns.
Okay. Fair enough.
And all the other, ones that you typically use for a woman.
Sure. All right. Fair enough. So I'm here with May Griffin today, and we're going to talk about her deconversion from religious belief to freedom, as might say. So why don't you take us back to pretty much, the first time you thought about how religion was bullshit and what led you to becoming the activist that you are today?
Well, I actually was never a theist.
Oh.
My mom is a Christian, and my dad is some kind of undefined non-theist. I don't know if he's agnostic or an atheist or what. I was never really brought into religion because my mom's part of the United Church of Canada, and they are actually super cool. I'll be marching with them in Peterborough Pride. Oh, not with them, but beside them in Peterborough Pride coming up in a couple of weeks, because ours is in September for some reason. And every everything I see from them, not just here in Canada, but in the States, I read a thing where they're super accepting there too, and they're they keep getting vandalized by other Christians, and it's really sad. But
really?
Yeah.
What
they were like
doing?
Well, they had a display set up, and it was like, if you're LGBT, we accept you. Come on in. And someone from some other denomination just absolutely vandalized it. I think they said there was arson, or someone set off a bomb or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I forget what it was. So in one of the it was somewhere in the States. I can't remember where it was. But yeah. So my mom's a part of the United Church, and I just never really grew up in it. Like this, my hometown here is pretty I'm pretty there are more Christians than not here, right? So but everyone, there's almost never street preachers except for at a festival we have or anything. So it's not something that I was forced into, and it's not something that I was really exposed to into my until my mid-teens. Okay. When I had some run-ins with some Catholics, and that wasn't a negative experience or anything, but I guess the closest I came was they tried to convert me to Catholicism, and I was like, okay, I don't really believe any of this stuff. I mean, everyone is super nice, right? There's a shrine somewhere in between Peterborough and Ottawa, I think. So somewhere out down Highway 7 or something like that. I can't remember. That was 15, 20 years ago. But there's this super and you'd go on walks through the shrine, and you'd pray the rosary and stuff like that at all the different spots. And I mean, like,
did you do that?
I didn't really pray, but it was for me, it was a bad time in my life, and everyone was really nice to me, right? So it was kind of, there was some social benefits to hanging out with that, and I got to go to this nice shrine out in the country and walk around the woods, which is something I actually like doing.
I'm with you there.
Yeah. And I, it's like, some of it even, they were very they were the very, preach love and acceptance and happiness and all that stuff, right?
Sure.
That they may have been a little bit homophobic, but that wasn't an issue for me at the time.
Right.
So, but other than that, they were all like really cool. It's just in the end, I stopped having anything to do with it, because it's like I was like 15 and I already just didn't believe. And I didn't find any of what they were telling me to give me a reason to believe, right? And it was all the normal, like, don't masturbate and stuff like that.
Sure.
And yeah, that was like a big no for me. But yeah, that's the closest I ever came to being religious. But just I, for some reason, they didn't teach me the Bible. I wonder why. But for some reason, I just didn't believe any of it in the end, and I left. So,
right. Well, that's good. I mean, well, how long have you sort of come to the realization about your transgenderness?
Oh, that's an interesting story. I knew I was trans when I was 9.
Wow. Okay.
And I just turned 35. So it's been
happy belated.
Thanks. It was last it was last Tuesday, almost a week ago. Yeah, but that was like 1993.
All right, cool.
And I didn't even know that other trans people existed at all until
kind of thought you were alone, sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know anything about it until maybe a few years later. And I heard in passing just from I don't even know where it was like mentioned, or it was mentioned on TV or something, that there's this guy that's a girl now or something like that. I don't even remember how it was said to me. I just remember being aware of this at some point in time.
Sure.
In like the mid 90s. And even then, it's not like today where I could have just hopped on the internet and found all this out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went through my teens like that. And then once I got out of the house, basically, and I was living in Toronto at the time, all by my lonesome. I'm from a small town, just, well, I guess it's not so small, but just 100 kilometers east of Toronto. We're
one of my best buddies is from Ajax.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of a third of the way between Toronto and Ottawa. Our team is the Peterborough Petes. So yeah, we've provided a lot of very good NHL players, but
yes.
Yeah. So
hockey is life, people.
Yes, it is. Go Habs, go. Boo Leafs.
Boo Leafs. That's funny because my buddy who's from Ajax is a Hawks fan and not a Leafs fan. Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. Exactly. Even the same motion and everything. I said, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
My grandpa's from Sherbrooke, so my mom's side of the family are all Habs fans, and my dad's side of the family are all Leafs fans. And it's kind of a rivalry thing that went. Nice.
My dad was a Habs fan through and through, so I kind of hold them in my heart a little bit too, but of course I have to go with the Canucks.
Yeah, well, if you're out that way. I have a friend who's a Canucks fan for some reason. I don't know. I'm an Oilers fan. They're my number 2 team. I have to have someone out. Yeah, I have to have someone out west, right? It comes from watching like double headers. So yeah, like we were especially back in the 90s and the 2000s, we're kind of like this weird, a lot of our city here is conservative, but a lot of them are like very progressive as well. And there's like there's very few of the bad conservatives, right? They're all like just, I want to call them normal conservatives.
Just like do what you will type conservatives.
Yeah. They're maybe
a little more
socially center, fiscally right.
Okay. Sure. It doesn't look like beer, May.
No, I'm not much of a drinker.
Oh, okay. All right. I can fix that for you.
Well, I'll drink if people put alcohol in front of me. So like, no information or anything, right? It wasn't in our sex ed or anything that I went through. So here I am in Toronto, and I finally have my own computer and internet connection.
Yeah.
So I looked into, all the information I could get. I joined some web forum way back then. I think it might have been a site called Susan's Place, but I can't remember. Okay. But that's been around forever, as far as I know. So I went to a doctor, and I said, I basically said, like, I'm a girl. How do I change myself? Because I still didn't know anything, right? It was very.
You just knew you were in the wrong body, and you wanted to fix that problem.
Yeah, something. I'm not a fan of the wrong body.
Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. That's probably the simplest way I could put it, right?
A lot of people say that just to make it easy. It's just I need to do some remodeling. Install some stuff up here, move some stuff around.
Switch things up a bit.
Get some of the facial hair taken out. But
how easy is that to do, by the way?
Easy, yes. It takes about 15 minutes a laser session. The first couple took longer, but also extremely painful.
Really? Yeah, okay. But once you've done it enough times, does it actually stop coming back?
Oh yeah. Like the first time, the first time I went, it takes about 3 weeks for mine to fall out after going. Okay. Like I had most of the rest of it was just like thinning and maybe a little bit patchy, but I had one streak down here where it looks like I just took a razor to it really poorly.
Like a chin mohawk.
Yeah, kind of like what you have, but I didn't. But I didn't shave it.
Oh, it's like the reverse of this.
Yeah. No. I had no hair. Yeah, I had no hair, right? That right down there. Yeah, I didn't need to shave to get that. But yeah, it takes normally it takes like 6 to 8. I've gone to 10. But I'm getting my front done too now. So yeah, it hurt. The only thing is that it really hurts, but it only hurts for a few minutes.
Well, that's not bad. Then you just you power through the pain, and it's all for the glory afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it basically you just have this laser. It shoots light through your skin. It stops at whatever's pigmented, which is ideally your hair, and then the hair just absorbs all the laser energy, and it puffs up, and it cooks it in the pore, and then that damages the follicle, which causes the hair to die permanently. Cool. Yeah,
amazing what we can do now.
Yeah, and it's just a laser. I'm going to need some electrolysis if I want it all gone, but like I shaved last on Saturday afternoon, so okay. And yeah, I would have obvious growth obvious growth before. Although the hormones I'm on also slow down hair growth.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So so yeah, I you know, the anyways, I went to them and I said, you know, something like, I'm a girl. How do I become a girl or something like that? And they were like, no, go away, basically, like super
Wow,
transphobic
really?
doctor. This was 2005.
Yeah, but still.
So yeah, I know. It was a random walk-in clinic. I probably should have gone somewhere better. But I was living alone.
Do you have like a regular doctor?
I didn't at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
And
had
you
a
do now kind of thing?
pediatrician, but I was 21 when that happened,
Not
so
so
my
much a pediatrician
pediatrician couldn't
anymore.
see me.
Yeah, right.
I have a regular doctor now, and my doctor is like handling everything. So yeah, after that, I just kind of like was really dejected over it. So I kind of just did my best to deal and move on. But yeah, if you're trans, you know it, and
Mhm.
it's not something that went away, you know, over the next 14
Yeah,
years.
it's not as some fanatics like to say, it's not a fad.
No, it's not. You know, it didn't go away from 9 to 21. It didn't go away from 21 to 34.
There you go.
So I come out almost a year ago now, actually. It was September the 20th. And, you know, I come out on Facebook and said, you know, can I swear?
Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
swear like a fucking trucker, so it's okay.
All right. I said, fuck the speech. I'm trans. I'm transitioning. Deal. I'm also bi. That was my coming out. I mean,
you get the best of both worlds, as they used to say.
yeah. I mean, like, I'm 34. I don't need a huge speech about it.
Right.
Right. And most of the people who know me are like at least in their late 20s. So, you know, nobody ever saw it coming. But yeah,
So when you came out with this, nobody was expecting it?
no.
So I guess you hadn't really dabbled or talked to people about that often?
No, not really ever, except for online a few times.
Okay.
You know, never being, you know, always anonymously. And like I never, you know, really bothered to wear women's clothes or anything like that, right? I don't necessarily see clothes as gendered anyways.
Yeah.
So like
Nowadays, most of them are unisex anyways, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm experimenting with new clothes, but really deep down in my heart, it's jeans and a t-shirt. Or shorts,
that's
or
my
shorts in the summer, or you know, a denim skirt now. But it's all kind of the same thing anyways. As far as I'm concerned, just it's a slightly different shape. So
I like the top you have on. It's like
Thank
one of
you.
my favorite colors, actually.
Yeah.
Purples and grays and blacks. Oh yeah. See, that shirt speaks to me.
Yeah, I just got this about a week ago, so this is actually my first time wearing it, except for when I tried it on.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think when you got it, you posted a picture with it on, and I think I commented it on that one.
No, that was probably another one.
Maybe another one.
My two favorite colors are red and purple. So a lot of shirts that I have are purple.
I can't do red myself. When I do red, it looks weird on me. Purple I can do.
Okay.
David's Neil comes out.
I do well, of course I have, you know, some stuff that's mostly red and a little, well, rouge and a little bit of the blue and blanc as well. And that's like a large part of why red's my favorite color, to be honest. So yeah, so it was a complete surprise to everybody. You know, I don't know how many people knew I was actually bi. It's like I would say that I was never in the closet for that, right? So I just never
If you were
felt
interested in someone, you were just interested in someone.
Yeah, well, I never felt the need to explicitly, go out of my way to say I like guys and girls, right? And all the other, but like I never felt the need to come out and say that, but I never hid it either.
Okay.
Really,
Which
although
is
I do.
probably why you never felt the need to say it either.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something that to me it's so mundane that I can picture like a 15-year-old, like a 14 or 15-year-old me, or not even that. We still say like 12 or 13. I can picture me going to my mom and saying, "Mom, I'm bi," and her response would be, "That's nice. I'm watching my shows. Go out and play."
Okay, dear.
Exactly. Like that would, and that was kind of her response to me coming out as being trans as well. It's like, okay, were we still going to do lunch? Because she lives out of town, right? So I don't get to see her very often.
No, can't do lunch now, Mom.
Are these other plans we have still going? Yeah, okay, good. I'll see you then. So my parents are super supportive, which that's
awesome.
important.
And that doesn't always happen.
No.
Especially if they are religious too, right? So.
Yeah. Well, okay, I wouldn't. My mom is definitely a Christian. I wouldn't say she's a religious Christian.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that a little earlier. She's not a fundamentalist, so something like this isn't going to make her go, "Oh my God."
No, she's probably closer to being agnostic than actually believing. So, but there's so many people around here are like that. I have a friend who we thought he's an atheist. He's like, "No, I'm a Catholic."
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, but they
this changes nothing.
Yeah.
He's like, I go to Christmas I go to Christmas on like Christmas Mass and Easter, and that's it. And I'm like, okay.
I think a lot of Canadians are like that, though. I think we're a fairly secular nation for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. We have a festival of lights here, and we have like farmers markets and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the odd time you'll see preachers like with megaphones and stuff there. But they mostly get ignored. I've seen them downtown a couple of times at the mall down there. And I just like, no, I don't do that. I'm an atheist. And even at that, right? They're like, "Oh, okay, that's good for you. Bye." And it's like, good.
Say, okay, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of that here either. I remember back in the 80s when I used to be a bus rider, and a lot of the Jehovah Witnesses you'd see at the bus stops. They'd be there for about half an hour just barking out stuff, and then they'd take off. And it's just like everyone would like give them the finger or tell them to get out of here, being complete dicks to them. But they ignored us.
Off, eh?
Yeah, take off, eh?
Yeah.
But you didn't see a lot of it.
I mean, we have Mormons and witnesses, and they're not as bad now as they apparently used to be. I got them. I lived for a couple of years before I moved back to Peterborough with my mom in Fenland Falls, which is it's like 1,800 people, 1,800 permanent residents. During school hours, the population doubles.
Really? Oh, so they have a university there?
No, they have the only major high school within any reasonable, like there's Lindsay, and then there's Fenland, and then like there's nothing. Oh. So they have a massive high school. There's like 1,200 people in it. And yeah, it's crazy. And the population like quadruples during summer. It's like the ultimate cottage play area, right? Because that's where we are is like Peterborough is called the gateway to cottage country, just because if you're driving, you're probably going to come through here.
Awesome. I like the cottage life.
Yeah.
sitting out
Yeah.
on the lake, you know, that kind of thing.
My mom basically now lives on a cottage on Balsam Lake, and it's beautiful.
Awesome. You go visit her quite often, or?
I haven't visited her for a while. It's just kind of a work schedule thing for us.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it just with the days off I have, and my mom's an RN and the charge nurse in a nursing home, right? So she is extremely busy. So it would be impossible. I don't have a car, so it would be impossible for me to get like an hour and 15 minutes out to her place and back.
Does any public transportation go that far?
Oh, no.
You'd have to like Greyhound it or something, I guess, huh?
That's not even an option. And she lives in she lives in the she lives in the country, right?
Okay.
She doesn't actually live in a city. She lives out on a lake somewhere. I mean, there's a lot of it's like one of the, you know, there's $1 million like there's $1 million cottage, they call it, you know, right beside her that they built maybe 5 or 10 years ago. And but the thing is that my mom's house, her boyfriend and his dad built it, and when they built it there was no lake there, and then they extended the lake, and then like and yeah, they extended the lake for some reason to their property. You know, it basically doesn't stop very far past their property. So they basically got a lakefront home for like nothing.
Awesome. Do they stock the lake with fish? Do you know?
They don't stock the lake with fish. I don't think. I don't know. I don't think they do, but it's really good fishing there anyways. So
they stock the lakes here because guys go in there, they fish the shit out of them, and then there's like next to nothing left, so they come back every spring and they dump more fish in.
Yeah, I don't think people keep the fish they catch.
Oh,
so
even walleye.
Okay, I don't think people keep all of the fish they catch.
Okay, because walleye is like really expensive because there's only you can only get them in certain areas, and mostly in Ontario, Manitoba type stuff. But
yeah, they're all over the place here.
Yeah, not here.
No? Oh.
Nope. We get like trout and some bass in some areas, but that's about it.
Okay, yeah, we have bass and pikes and muskies and perch and walleyes and saugers and sawguys.
Now I want to go fishing out that way because it's such more fish.
Yeah, and we have 1,200-pound white sturgeons in some lakes around here.
We got sturgeons here, big suckers. They're river sturgeons though. They're huge.
Yeah. And we have I think they have gar out closer to Ottawa. And if you've ever seen one of those things,
they look mean.
Yeah, they're just like a snout full of teeth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have catfish.
Oh yeah.
We have a zoo here. It's a free zoo actually. It's run by the utilities company.
Okay.
The public utilities company. There's a story to how they started having a zoo there, but I can't remember it. And it's like they used to have an old monkey house, and they've closed that down now, unfortunately. But they had it was built over the water. I think it was actually originally some like house for water purification equipment or something, and then they cleared all that out and put monkeys in it. Because it's built literally right over the water. Half it's on the ground, the other half it's on the water. And they had this hole cut in it with like a barrier around it and wire mesh on top of that. And they had like fish kibble, and you could feed fish. And mostly it would be carp, right?
Yeah.
You get all these, big 20, 30-pound carp going after it. And, every once in a while, the carp would just part. And this giant, 50, 60-pound channel cat would come through. And the carp wanted to have nothing to do with that thing. And they
crazy, man.
They were huge.
Carp are nuts. Every time I've dealt with carp, and you throw food in the water, it's like piranha.
Yeah.
Going nuts.
Yeah. Well, they can get pretty big, but like, and the catfish, the channel cats usually don't go above 5 or 10 pounds here, but every once in a while you just come across this monster channel cat, and it's like
mutant
50 or 60 pounds. Well, they can get that big.
Sure.
Right.
In the right environment. Yeah.
Yeah. And just, the thing closed when I was like, the thing closed 15 years ago at least. But as a kid, I would remember just seeing this, and I was like, what's that big fish? And it'd be like, oh, that's a catfish. And they were huge, absolutely giant. And we have that. We have muskies. They're scary. My uncle almost lost a thumb to a muskie.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, they're pretty aggressive, so that's not surprising.
It was apparently a really big one. They're not very good for eating, though.
No,
but they put up a fight.
Bony. Muskies are fairly bony. They're like gar that way. They're pretty fucking bony, those fish.
Yeah.
But, we don't really get that. You go farther up north and you get the bass and stuff. But down here, it's mostly salmon and trout. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I do remember I was up by Algonquin Park visiting, or I was with a friend visiting one of their friends. And we went fishing off this culvert, and we caught what we don't know what it was. Or we don't know exactly what it was. What we do know is that it was 1/2 perch.
Oh.
We don't know what the other half is. We called it a chub, but it's not a chub. I don't think it's a chub. But it's like 2 fish breeds that you'd never think could interbreed.
But they did it.
And they did somehow. And it was
strange.
like a mosaic chimera. Right? It had like some parts that were clearly a perch and other parts that were clearly not a perch.
Just haven't figured out what that part was yet.
Yeah, well, we called it a perch chub. We should have. We threw it back. We should have kept it. We should have kept it and taken it to the M&R because it was the weirdest thing. But we were also
maybe somebody could help.
Yeah, we were also way out in the middle of nowhere, like really. I think the place is called Maynooth, and it's like 800 people.
Oh, wow.
And there's like none of that anywhere around. And yeah, it's up north. It's way up north by Algonquin Park, right? So it took us like 5 hours even to get there.
Wow.
And it's beautiful up there, but like we had no way of preserving this fish to get it live or dead to get it back to the. Well, I guess we could have put it on ice, but yeah. It takes
up space where the beer could be in the cooler, though. So.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, we were too young to drink then.
What do you mean?
No, like really too young.
Stop us. Oh, okay.
Oh no, I was I was drinking when I was like 15, but
yeah, exactly.
No, this was before that.
You were like younger. Neil, 8-year-olds don't drink. Okay.
Yeah, I think I was like 12. So yeah, that's that. It was the weirdest thing. It was the absolute weirdest fish. I will never forget it.
I
did. I
Yeah?
did. It doesn't exist.
well, that can't be true. You saw it.
Yeah, I know, but it's not. It's never been reported.
It's nothing common, then, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it
Well,
was a one-off.
it was probably a one-off.
Some weird mutation.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely two fish of different species. Like there was no doubt. There was no doubt in that. And it's like, how did this thing even live? Like to be, near adulthood. We were catching like rainbow trout and brook trout too, and perch.
Rainbow trout are nice.
Yeah,
we have some of those here. Pretty tasty. They're very similar to salmon because they're technically from the same family. So
right.
They're just like freshwater versions of salmon, pretty much.
Yeah. I'm not a huge. I'm not a huge fan of fish that isn't like English batter fish and chips and stuff like that.
like the cod, the halibut, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But I absolutely love salmon sushi.
Oh yes.
It's like if you're going to cook it, cover it in batter, and give me lots of tartar sauce and let me make the tartar sauce. But
you make good tartar sauce?
Oh, I make amazing tartar sauce.
Oh man. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Like mayonnaise and mustard seed, like crushed mustard seed powder and vinegar and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, it's so good. If I have it, I use dill relish instead of sweet relish.
Dill relish is the way to go.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't like salmon. Well, that's more for us then.
Yeah, definitely. If you took a salmon and you just cooked it and gave it to me, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like it at all.
What if it's smothered in seafood sauce?
That's just ketchup and horseradish.
I know.
But if you don't cook it, and just put it on a little bit of rice or something, it's great. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I can't deal with fishy flavors. Like I can't deal with anything that's overly fishy, and cooking it makes it taste fishy, I think.
True enough. Like the sushi style is you get that nice, it's got that nice flavor to it.
Yeah, it's kind of a almost a sweet flavor. Yeah, but when once it's cooked, it's like, I don't know, it changes how it tastes, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, sure, it does, absolutely.
But yeah, I will go to a sushi place and just eat the salmon sushi literally by the boatful, because there's one that'll bring you a boat, like a little wooden boat that's like this big, full of sushi, and I will literally eat sushi by the boatful if they'll bring it to me in that.
We usually go to a place in a little town here called Richmond that has a very large Japanese and Chinese population. So the place is just littered with Asian restaurants, and they have some great sushi bars out there. And we go to one that a friend of mine owns, and he does the all you can eat. Right.
Yeah.
So, and you just keep ordering, and he just brings it out.
Yeah. I was actually going to go to one. It's a chain. It's called Madoy. We were going to go to one for my birthday, but we had to put it on hold because they're renovating.
Oh.
And they're not going to be open until September.
Oh, no way. So at least you get to drag your birthday out a little longer, right?
Yeah. And we actually have a couple of really good sushi places in town. Madoy is actually really good. We have another independent, just some guy runs it, called Matsu Sushi, and it's absolutely amazing. As well.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not all you can eat.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, sometimes you don't really need that, right? I usually do that when I'm hungry and I want to eat a shit ton.
Yeah. Well, it's like $33, $34 to go to the all you can eat buffet. So I only do that every once in a while. Anyways, because I can only afford to do it every once in a while.
Yeah. Sushi, as good as it is, it can be a bit expensive.
Yeah. Well, they have a bunch of other really good stuff too. So yeah, there's all that. And
How the hell did we get onto food?
I have no idea. It must be getting near your dinner time. I ate right before I came on.
Well, yeah, it's just about, it's 20 to 5 now. So I scarfed down a couple of sandwiches before doing this because generally go.
I usually eat at like 5.
Yeah.
5:30. Just it's been a really weird day. A good day, but it's been really weird. Yeah, I went to I've been talking about this on Twitter for maybe a month and a half now. But I finally convinced my doctor to prescribe me progesterone.
Oh,
which
wow. Okay.
is a it's a hormone. And she was going to send me to an endocrinologist or yada yada yada, because there's no studies showing it does anything, but there's also no studies whatsoever, right? Every study that involves it is on like postmenopausal cis woman.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's nothing that would be in like the same category for someone like you?
No, nothing at all. No. The only thing we know it does is it blocks testosterone.
Yeah.
And it can help with sleep. Everything else, it's like there's lots of stuff saying the negative side effects, but there's no specifics. Those are all coming from, here's the effects of micronized progesterone, this bioidentical, on cis women who are going through menopause or postmenopause.
Sure.
So, there's nothing now. A lot of trans women in the US are on it because it does block testosterone. And there are there are basically two common testosterone blockers. There's progesterone acetate and spironolactone. I'm on Cipro, and I call it almost progesterone because it's similar to progesterone. It's just also different. Oh, excuse me. I
hear you, man. I get up at 4 a.m. every day.
I usually get up at 6, but it's my day off. But I had to. Yeah. I was also up until like 12:30 last night doing my own podcast.
Oh yeah, that's right. I always get your live notifications. So
yeah. Last night
I hit
was
the
really
bell
good.
on people's channels that I actually want to. So
yeah, I usually go on 8 o'clock on Sunday nights. 8 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard Time. So it's convenient, and I don't work on Mondays, so it's like super convenient.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because on my work days I get up at 6 a.m. So yeah. But yeah, I'm on this, and it's one of those evidence or absence of evidence is an evidence of absence things. And people are sometimes people are hesitant to prescribe it because like there are no studies, even though
do they think you're going to abuse it somehow?
There are some really overblown negative possible side effects that come with it. So the big ones are breast cancer, heart disease, and blood clots. Ooh. But I know how to do secondary research. I know how to go not just listen to what other trans people are saying or whatever, but I know how to go through the literature and find where this information is coming from, and that's sort of what I did. And Actually, a friend of mine sent me a an article. It's not a research paper. It has a lot of secondary research in it. You might be able to call it. Oh yeah, it has lots of citations.
Okay.
Like it was good enough that the Journal of Endocrinology and Endocrinology and Metabolism saw it fit to actually publish it in their physical journal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, and it basically, you could almost call it a one part of a meta study, one part of an opinion piece that's done by a clinician who works with trans people. Right. So very well cited, nothing is claimed without a citation.
That's good. That's what you
look for. It was actually done in Vancouver.
Hey, my hometown.
Yeah.
Sort of. I'm kind of in a suburb like you. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm not in a suburb. No, I'm not in a suburb. I'm in my own town. I have to drive an hour. It takes 45 minutes driving through the country down to 115 and the 401 to get to Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It takes 20 minutes for me to get to Vancouver, so.
Well, of course, depending on how some people drive around here.
Oh yeah, we got our share of wacky drivers here too. Man.
Yeah, we're about 120 to 150 kilometers away from Toronto.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty far.
Yeah. So we are our own city here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I gave this study and my doctor wouldn't prescribe it for me. And then she, when I came back, I wasn't actually seeing her for progesterone. I'm having some problems with my knees. I'm double jointed and my knees bend backwards way too far. So we've been dealing with that and trying to get the progesterone on the side, but that's kind of the secondary thing. So she comes back to me and she says, well, you'll have to go to London, which is like 3 or 4 hours away. And as I said, I don't own a car or anything. So we're just going to go over this really heavy and then I'm going to give it to you. I had to sign a second informed consent. She also gave me a referral to the YMCA for subsidized YMCA pass because I'm poor as fuck. And I paid $5 for this top at Value Village. So I'm poor as fuck, and do you
have a Patreon for your channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you could find out what the Patreon address is and post it in the chat, please.
Okay.
IQ is gonna get on that. He's my moderator extraordinaire.
Okay, IQ is pretty cool. We were speaking when we were doing the thing for Dog Fearsome.
Yeah.
I kept it going.
Yes, like maybe we should be doing one of those so you can get a car too.
I don't even have a license. I don't really have a use.
Come on.
I don't really have a use for a car.
Sounds to me like you might need one.
Well, I'm walking distance from my work if my knees aren't terrible. And I'm also on the bus route and I'm 2 blocks away from the grocery store. And I live right downtown here, right? So I have everything at my fingertips.
You're golden. Plus you can order shit online too, right? So
yeah. Oh no, I have a bus pass anyways, and the bus passes are cheap. I am going to probably run some kind of a fundraiser at some point because I am going to San Francisco for surgery because Montreal won't do the surgery I want them to do.
Did they give a reason as to why they won't?
No, they just won't do it. Wow. They just won't do it. So this is kind of a new surgery, right? I'm non-binary. It's a non-binary surgery. the easy story is I'm not getting anything removed, just added. So I
Wait
didn't
a
think
minute.
that
What
was.
do you mean? Nothing's being removed, but you're adding?
Yeah.
We're talking upstairs, downstairs? What are we talking?
Downstairs.
Okay, so you'll be able to, I guess, technically be with whoever you want then after that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
However I want.
Yeah, that too. I get it. Okay, sure.
Yeah. But I think there's a place out west. I think there's a place in Vancouver that does TRS now. And we're getting one in Toronto.
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah. And we're getting one in Toronto, but like I don't trust the one in Montreal to do it even if they said they would. Because they've refused for trans guys, even though it would be less work for them, they absolutely 100% refuse. And they have to go to the States too. So someone maybe a month and a half ago sent me a link to this surgeon who was like advertising on her website that she'll do this.
And this is in San Francisco.
And she's in San Francisco. I think she's actually trans herself, which would make sense that she would be more willing to do something like this than someone in, some cis dude who's just a surgeon in Montreal.
Right.
So yeah, she's doing it. It's a relatively new technique anyways. And they can do that in Montreal, I've been told, but they don't. They remove things, which is no.
What you don't want.
No.
Right.
I wasn't. I had no intention of even considering getting surgery until, like, it was brought to my attention that what I said is the minimally acceptable surgery was given to me. was said to me, and I'm like, I both love you and I hate you to this person at the same time. because like, yeah, she gave me what I've wanted since I was 9, but it's going to cost. I want to have to go to San Francisco with another person. I don't think I'm going to have to. I don't think I'm going to have to pay for my plane ticket to San Francisco, because I know someone who works for Air Canada.
Beauty.
And the plane ticket isn't all that much. It's less than $600 round trip.
It's
anyway.
Weird. We can go anywhere. I booked my flight to Texas last year, and it cost me $459, and that's return.
Yeah.
But to go to Toronto, it's double that.
What?
Yeah, it's like $800 to go from here to Toronto. That's return as well. But within Canada, it seems to be we charge ourselves more to go within our own country than to go down to the States.
Yeah, and this isn't even a straight flight. I think it goes to Calgary and then to San Francisco.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, there's a layover in Calgary.
You walk outside in Calgary in the winter and everything freezes on your face.
Oh no, we we have an 80-degree temperature range.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
So in the summer it can get to 40 above, and in the winter it can get to 40 below. Yeah.
Doesn't get that way here in Vancouver. I mean, we've hit lows like recently. We've hit some fairly. We went down to like minus 22, and that's like unheard of here.
Oh,
and
that's
then in
like
the
normal.
summertime, well, for you guys, you got windshields cracking and shit. But we get in Abbotsford, which is in the valley, it can get really, really hot in the summertime. Like so hot that elderly people are keeling over, like 45 degrees, right? We're like, holy shit. Yeah, it's crazy sometimes. It's extremes here too, but not quite like you guys. Yeah,
well, we live in a place called the Kawarthas. I'm in a place called the Kawarthas, and it's the largest volume of freshwater lakes in the world.
I could live there.
Yeah, except humidity and mosquitoes are a huge issue.
When the mosquitoes over there, guys, by the way, are size of B-52s, just so you know.
Yes, they are.
They're fucking massive mosquitoes over there.
Yeah, I went for a walk through the woods, through some really interesting woods.
Yes,
my friend is actually a geologist, and she, likes to go through these woods, and it was just, we were just swarmed by thousands of mosquitoes.
Oh, it's crazy sometimes.
So yeah, now I have bug spray in my purse just in case that happens again.
You gotta wear netting, almost like that mesh wear that you can wear when you're going out there.
You need a beekeeper suit or something.
Yeah.
But so anyways, it's going to cost me minimum, and I have to bring someone with me for 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks minimum, at least one, but I have to bring someone to help me with recovery and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So even though it's less invasive than the normal one, it's still kind of a major surgery.
Right.
So I have to go, someone else has to go, to the other side of the continent in another country, to one of the most expensive places on the continent, if not the world, for a month. And that's going to cost me, if I'm extremely lucky, like $1,000 per person.
That's not too bad.
If I'm unlucky, like $1,500 for 2 people, but we'll be sharing a room.
Right.
And if I'm extremely unlucky, it could cost up to like $5,000
per head.
Not per head.
Combined, you mean?
Yeah, like I looked on Airbnb and they're all like $5,000.
Wow.
So yeah,
for that amount of time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I've been told get in contact with people, see if they'll give me a deal and all that. I'm not even they won't even talk to me until January, basically. So I am trying to rush things along just in case our wonderful premier Doug fucking Ford decides to fuck with OHIP even more, because fuck that guy. I've no love or respect for Doug Ford. I mean, his brother was a comedy act, but this guy is just pure evil.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Rob actually turned a lot of the economy around for you guys when he was in there.
Yeah, well, he was the mayor of Toronto, and he did a decent job being mayor of Toronto. Doug Ford is the premier of Ontario, and everybody hates him.
Oh, he's a jackass.
Yeah, the problem is that our liberal government was one of the most corrupt governments we had.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kathleen Wynne got put in office, and then she should have stepped down before the last election, but she didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, OHIP will cover my surgery. That's not a problem. Mm-hmm. I am in charge of everything else, and it's just going to be,
basically your travel and living expenses you have to cover.
Travel and accommodations and other living expenses. Yes, I'm going to do a few things. I'm.
Fuck, you're in San Fran, of course.
Yeah. Well, there's an aircraft carrier I want to go to see.
Cool.
It's across the bay in Alameda. And I'm
having flashbacks of Star Trek 4 right now.
Yes, exactly. I'm
the nuclear vessels.
I'm going to do the Chekhov accent. I don't know if I can do it right now. I usually can. But they probably get annoyed by it all the time.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
It's not actually a nuclear aircraft carrier. It's an Essex class. It's the CV-12 Wasp. It's an Essex class carrier named after the Yorktown class that was sunk. And yeah, so she was built in World War II. So she's obviously not a nuclear carrier. And then they decommissioned the naval base in Alameda, but they left her there as a museum ship. So I'm definitely going to go and see that. There's a bunch of those Essex classes been preserved.
Very cool.
And there is an aircraft carrier across the bay in Alameda. If I go in the winter, I'm actually going to be able to afford to go to a hockey game, and there will probably be some empty seats for it to be a hockey game, and maybe I'll even do some clever scheduling and make sure that I'll be in San Francisco.
Frisco doesn't have a TV.
San Jose. It's like right beside.
Are they
San
still
Francisco.
playing up there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sharks.
Okay. Sure.
So I might even get to see Montreal play.
If you're lucky, yeah.
So I might try to do some clever scheduling there. Of course, I probably won't, because I'll probably have my consultation,
right?
And then might be a few months to like a year, depending on my situation, depending on the situation of depending on my situation, depending on the situation of the actual surgeon. She does a lot of surgery. She does 2 or 3 a week, which is actually a lot for this kind of thing.
Have you read any success stories or heard about them at all?
She's very highly regarded.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah,
so you're basically getting one of the best in the business, sort of thing.
Yep, I am. She hasn't been working for very long, a few years, I think, but nobody has. I've never seen anything but good things said about her. So
awesome. Maybe she's just a savant and knows her thing.
Well, not everyone who does it is a specialist, right?
Right.
She apparently does only GRS. Like, it's apparently, she only does bottom surgeries. And she has some other people on staff who work with her who do other stuff, but she only does bottom surgeries, and she does 2 or 3 a week. So by the time I get there, she's really good at it.
Awesome.
So yeah.
IQ posted your Patreon in there.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, and I have a show we go on every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So
that's 5 Pacific, people.
Yeah, about now, but almost exactly this time, but Sunday instead of Monday.
Right. We just blew through an hour, man.
Yeah, that was that's awesome.
I mean, we talked a little bit about the religion stuff at the beginning, and then everything was just a free for all. We had sushi, transgender issues, surgery stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Hockey is the most important one still.
Hockey, yeah, exactly. I almost feel like putting my jersey on.
Yeah. Mine is almost in reach.
Mine is too, but it's in the closet, and I'm afraid to go in there right now because I have so many boxes that I've stuffed in there.
Oh.
That if I move one, it's like Jenga. You move it the wrong way, everything's coming out of that closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I have to make sure it's ready. I need to have to do well this year. Well, I think everyone's going to start the season who like actually needs to start the season. We're not going to have our best defenseman out for like the first half of the season,
right?
This year. Hopefully we can keep Price functional.
Yeah.
He's always been injury prone. I remember back before he started like getting injuries, he'd get the flu and he'd be out for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sucks. But we have one of the best defensemen. We have some of the best goalies, and we have not a lot of people. Like, I watch most of the games. Not a lot of people actually realize how many really good players we have that are like super young. So yeah, we have like Jesperi Kotkaniemi, who he holds records now. He holds rookie records.
He's gonna be big, man. That kid's gonna be big.
Yeah, there's a lot of hope. We have Nick Suzuki coming up. He apparently needs to learn how to play, defensively, but he's also a really good goal scorer, which is what we need. And yeah, we have Mete, who's like becoming a really, really strong defenseman too. So we have a promising future as long as we can, do something to keep Price in net.
Yeah, or find someone that's suitable enough to replace him at some point. We've had goalie issues in Vancouver for decades now,
Mm-hmm.
clearly. But
yeah, I have a friend who's a Canucks fan, and I'm, they might be my number 4, I guess. So
I got to keep it Canadian.
yeah. Well, okay. Calgary is somewhere in the middle, and Toronto is number 30.
Like bottom of the barrel. That's hilarious. Leafs suck. Sorry.
Well, they do.
I know.
The only one that has a lower spot than the Laughs is Boston, and I think everyone can agree with that.
Probably my least favorite team, Boston.
Easily my least favorite. You see, I see Toronto as a rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah. One of the original 6 and Montreal's original rival.
Yeah. I see Boston as the enemy.
Yeah,
that's the difference. That's the difference. Yeah. Toronto is a rival. Boston is the enemy. Boston is the enemy of everyone, though.
Yeah.
So it's Boston.
There was a while when Philadelphia was the Broad Street Bullies, and everybody hated them.
Philadelphia has horrible fans. Like they booed cancer research and Santa Claus.
Yeah, I never understood that, and I can't stand the team anyways. They're probably right down there with Boston for me. But
yeah, they're maybe 29.
Well, I think. No, go ahead.
Oh, I just the first round of the playoffs this year was really painful because
you got in. At least you guys got in.
No, we didn't.
Oh, that's right. Montreal didn't get in. Shit, that's right.
But here's the thing, right? It's like I had to watch 2 teams that I utterly hate win. Like 2 teams I utterly hate play each other.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, had to win when I would rather both of them lose. And this is what I said. If one of them has to win the series, I want it to be Toronto. But if one of them wins the cup, has to win the cup, I want it to be Boston.
Oh, that must hurt to say.
I'm sorry, it's Toronto. They're not allowed to win the cup. Leafs is an acronym, right? Didn't you know Leafs is an acronym?
Oh, yeah, but I can't remember what it is now.
I can't even actually remember the number, but losing even after 54 years, is it now?
Yeah, I think it is. Pretty close to that.
So yeah, losing even after 54 years.
Oh, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we've come up actually past the hour, but I usually do these for about an hour. But I do an after party if you'd like to jump into an after party.
Yeah, sure. Let me just
get some time?
Yeah, absolutely. I have lots of time. So do you want to? Go ahead and do your outro and stuff.
Yeah. Basically, what I'll do is I go and I have a quick cigarette and a quick pee because beer, you only rent it, and and then I'll give me about 10 minutes and I'll send you a fresh link and we'll jump in and a few people jump in with us.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you do.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
We've had some interactions on Twitter and stuff, but I've never actually got to talk to you face to face. And that's one of the reasons I love doing these, is because I get to actually talk to people that I've sort of, become friends with.
Yeah.
So it's always good to do this. And you're Canadian.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I kind of like the same. Like I have a lot of, I keep having new people on my show because I like having new people on my show.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had, I usually have 2 or 3 people or like 5 or 6 people on it at the same time, but I'm always trying to get new people on it. Just
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. I definitely have so much fun on my show.
It's a good way to get to know the community. Right?
Yeah.
It's always good. All right. Well, thanks guys for tuning in and hanging out with May and I. We're going to do an after party. So if any of you would be interested in jumping in with us, just let me know through Twitter. You know the usual routine. I have my usual suspects group, and there will be a link posted there if you're a member of that group. If you're not, you can send me a personal message on Twitter, and I'll send you a link if you're interested. But please keep in mind that with the StreamYard's system now, I can only have up to 4 other people with myself and May in there already. So keep that in mind. But we can always switch people in and out too, if you don't mind hanging out in the backstage area, as they call it. I think I'm going to start calling it the green room myself, but but you know what I mean. Anyways, guys, thanks again for tuning in and hanging out with us. And as I always say, oh yeah, something new I wanted to add. You probably saw IQ post it in the chat a couple of times, but I have an Amazon wish list now. So there is a link to that. There's also a link to May's channel, May's Twitter, and also a bunch of helpful sites for people who have recently deconverted and are having problems with that sort of thing. All the links are down below in the chat, so down below the chat, so go check them out. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these things, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.